So if you're looking for a really cool, light-hearted, easy to watch family comedy movie, then LYLE LYLE Crocodile really is the perfect film for you. What is up everybody, welcome back to my channel Lifestyle Critic. I hope you're having a brilliant day. So in this video we are going to be reviewing the brand new movie from Sony Pictures, LYLE LYLE Crocodile, which is a live action CGI animation hybrid musical comedy movie based on the popular book series of the same name. Now it isn't anything that you haven't seen before in terms of an anthropomorphic animal being in a bit of a light-hearted comedy drama film for all ages. So there are a lot of other movies that do have a very similar premise, but LYLE LYLE Crocodile does enough to stand out from the crowd, and it's actually a really enjoyable movie, and I cannot wait to break it down with you in this movie review. So the storyline in LYLE LYLE Crocodile is all based around the Prim family moving to New York City and moving into a brand new apartment over there, and focuses on his youngest character, Josh, who is having a really hard time, and he is really struggling to settle into his high school and to make new friends until he meets a singing crocodile in his attic. I mean, obviously. The two of them then become best friends and must face a number of different challenges, and Josh has to keep LYLE LYLE Crocodile really safe against a number of different situations. For example, against the police, against the reptile zoo, against his parents, against his original owner, against his evil neighbor. So they go on a really cool adventure. Now, from a positives point of view, I absolutely love the blend of musical comedy drama in this film. I feel like musicals are really making a brand new comeback and is just so welcomed, as I feel like they balance it along with really good storytelling and character development really well in this movie. It's actually really funny as well, and I feel like it's the perfect movie for all ages, as I feel like adults and kids alike can really enjoy it. In some ways it's really inspiring as well, mainly by Javier Bardem's character, who just really does encourage everybody to just not care or worry about what other people think of them, and just live your life and just do whatever you want to do that makes you happy, which I think is really great. And I feel like you can also empathize a lot with Josh and with LYLE LYLE Crocodile and with a lot of the other characters as well. So I feel like it really connects you from an emotional point of view as well. And on that point, a number of emotional things happen in this movie which really does pull on the heartstrings, and you really are rooting for all of the main characters in this movie. And I feel like it depicts New York City in a really cool way, as it really does make you want to visit New York City. And this movie is also really well fast-paced, so it goes through a lot of storyline material really quickly. However, from a negatives point of view, as this is a movie for all ages, it does skew a lot younger, and as a result of that, I feel like they really could have gone into a lot more depth and a lot more danger. And some of the characters are pretty one-dimensional, and they definitely could have made them a lot more layered, especially, for example, the evil neighbor. I feel like he's just there to be a bit of a villainous character, but they could have added so much more dimension to him. But that being said, you know, you do know what you're signing up for with this movie, which is watching a great family movie. And from that point of view, I have to say the storyline is actually really successful. So from a cast and characters point of view, props to the cast and directors. They've done a really good job in perfectly casting all of the different roles in this movie. Like I said, they definitely could have gone into more depth from a character's point of view, but at least from a cast point of view, they are really great. So let's go through them one by one. So first up, we have Winslow Fegley, who is playing the lead character Josh, and I have to say, this young actor is so talented. He has got such a bright future ahead of himself, and you may well remember him from playing opposite Neil Patrick Harris in the recently released 8-Bit Christmas. And in this film, like I said, he is playing the youngest member of the Prim family and really does love LYLE LYLE Crocodile, as he quite literally transforms his life. And in some respects, I feel like people can relate to Josh's journey in terms of moving into this new location, not really fitting in, and just really struggling until something really bright happens and this completely changes this person's life. And because of that, I feel like you can really empathize with Josh's journey, and the way in which he interacts with this CGI anthropomorphic character is absolutely stupendous. I feel like all of the cast members on that point actually interact with LYLE LYLE so well. And so Winslow Fegley leads this movie as the Josh character really well. Next up, we have Shawn Mendes, who does such a good job as playing LYLE LYLE Crocodile. He doesn't really have any speaking parts, but he more than makes up for it as he sings all of his emotions. What he wants to express is through the medium of song, and obviously Shawn Mendes is such a tremendous talented musician that he just literally brings LYLE LYLE Crocodile to life, and just brights up the entire movie, quite literally. In some respects, it feels a little bit Michael Jackson inspired. And similar to the Josh character, I feel like Lyle Lyle Crocodile, you can really empathize with him as well. You're really rooting for him. Like I said, he literally brights everything up and you're instantly connected with him. And because he stands out from the crowd in terms of being a real life crocodile, people are in fear of him, people want to trap him, people want to get rid of him. So you really actually do feel like you're connected because a lot of the things that he goes through is really emotional driven. Next up we have Javier Bardem, who is so good as the Hector character, super charismatic and a true exuberant performance. I could just imagine that Javier must have had the time of his life as this radiates through the big screen so brilliantly. He is so great as a performer, as the previous owner of LYLE LYLE Crocodile. I feel like they could have done a little bit more with that in terms of being a bit more of a threat, in terms of potentially taking LYLE LYLE Crocodile away from Josh and the Prim family. I feel like they could have pushed that a little bit more, along with the fact that he temporarily lives with the Prim family, so they could have pushed that aspect a little bit more as well. They do touch on it, but like I said, they definitely could have done more with it. And like I also mentioned, I love the fact that he does do a bit of an inspirational speech in terms of not really caring or worrying what other people think of you, which I think is really good. We've also got Constance Wu, who is super talented. Where on earth is the Crazy Rich Asian sequel, by the way? We just need to get that. But anyway, back to this movie. I feel like Constance Wu does a really good job as the Katie character, the stepmother to Josh, and Lyle Lyle really helps her find her inner passion, as well as doing this for the husband as well, played by Scoot McNairy, who very recently was in Lucky as God Alive, which I have also recently reviewed. And we also have Brett Gelman playing Mr. Gumps, who is definitely the villain and the threat to a lot of different characters in this movie. Like I said, pretty one-dimensional, bit of a panto villain. They definitely could have given a bit more depth and layers to this character. And some of the stuff that happens in the novel is pretty dark involving this character, so maybe they'll explore that happening in the sequel. But as far as this film is concerned, from a cast and characters point of view, they're actually really decent in this film. So from a visuals perspective, I was so impressed with LYLE LYLE Crocodile. Firstly, the crocodile just looks so good. If you look at the credits, there are so many animators involved in this film, and it really does show as LYLE LYLE just comes to life so brilliantly. Firstly, like I said, all of the characters just interact with him so perfectly, and he just looks so good. He emotes all of his emotions so brilliantly, he sings so fantastically, and like I said, just does so many crazy things in this movie, and all of it just looks absolutely perfect. On the musical point, there are so many songs played in this film. None of them go on for too long and overstay their welcome. They're just peppered across this movie really well, and they just add so much flavor to this film. New York City looks really great. Like I said, I just want to travel to New York after watching this movie. There is a sequence on a massive stage, a little bit like the X Factor, which looks really good. The little town, I think, is created really well, especially when Lyle and Josh are just running around everywhere in the town. Those sequences are so cool. And if you're a big fan of the popular book series, and there are so many nice Easter eggs from there, mainly with the Katie character drawing a lot of the things that looked exactly like they did in the book, which is a really nice touch. And so from a visuals point of view, LYLE LYLE Crocodile also looks really brilliant. So from a comparisons point of view, LYLE LYLE Crocodile is one of the many number of live-action anthropomorphic animal-based movies. For example, most recently, Sonic the Hedgehog, Detective Pikachu, Clifford the Big Red Dog, so many similarities with that film. Of course, The Grinch, Stuart Little, Alvin and the Chipmunks. I mean, there are so many movies that blend perfectly CGI animation with live action, and I have to say LYLE LYLE Crocodile is a really great addition to this awesome genre. So overall, I was actually pleasantly surprised with LYLE LYLE Crocodile, as it's such an enjoyable movie. All of the cast members definitely put their best foot forward. It's a really faithful film if you are a big fan of the original popular book series. And I feel like it's a really great first installment of what I'm sure will be a really successful franchise. And if you're a big fan of Paddington the Bear, then of course you are absolutely going to love this. I don't think it's as good as Paddington, but really well inspired by that. And so for all of those reasons, I'm going to give it a solid 7 out of 10. Now I'd love to hear what you thought of LYLE LYLE Crocodile, so please let me know in the comment section below. Otherwise, I look forward to seeing you in my next video.